No fancy editing, just straight value, so let's get to it. And today I'm going to show you how to master the basics of Klaviyo. And you might think, well, the basics aren't that important. They actually are, because if you don't have the basics right, the entire building will collapse, okay? So you must have this right. And I apologize if I stumble up a little bit today because I'm a little bit sick, but yeah, I'm going to do this anyways, all right? So, the first thing you're gonna do here is you're gonna go to audience, listen segments, and I'm going to teach you, or I'm gonna show you the difference between a list and a segment. So a list is a group of people with no specifications, and a segment is a group of people with specifications. Okay, and what most people do is they send emails to their list when in reality they should send their emails to specific segments, specific groups of people with certain characteristics. Okay, so I have actually created this one right here, which is a segment called 15 days. Let's click on it. Now this is a segment that I created, not a list, and we're gonna go to settings here, or sorry, edit definition, and this segment is to select people that have clicked it and or opened an email in the last 15 days. Okay, and this is a segment that you should absolutely have because you're going to send emails to this segment. All right, so the first thing you need to do here is you need to create this specific action here. If someone can or cannot receive email, and in this case it can, and the reason why you need to have this on every single segment that you are going to send to your list, it's because if you don't have this, you're going to send emails to people that have unsubscribed as well. And you might think, oh, isn't that good? No. If someone unsubscribes to the list, they should not receive emails from it. Now, if you're doing, for example, Black Friday, you can do an email without this. But yeah, you should not do emails without this. You should not send to segments without this, okay? It needs to always have this. All right. So if someone can receive in marketing, you put and then you put what someone has or not done, open an email at least once in the last 15 days, and the same for clicked an email. And the difference between and here and or is that when I put and here, that means a profile needs to have this one and these two, okay? So when I put or, that means they can have any of these two. If I put and, they need to have those two. So you can imagine that if I put, for example, and here, we're going to have a lot less people because it's people that open it and clicked an email in the last 15 days. If I put or, we're gonna have a lot more people because it's people that open an email or click an email in the last 15 days. It's pretty simple, right? But yeah, we need to have this on or. Very important. So make sure you have a segment like this, exactly like this, okay? And send it to your list. All right. Let's put cancel here because I didn't make any changes. So yeah. All right. The next thing here is the list. Now, you usually use a list to collect people. And usually when I get a new client, what I do is I create a list called new newsletter. And the reason I do this, it's so that they can see the amount of people I get to their list. And usually like after a few months, I already surpassed the list they have for like a year, right? And the reason for this, it's because of pop-ups. And I'm going to show you a setting that you need to have on, or you need to have this setting correctly, and it's single opt-in. And usually what happens is people use the default newsletter list of Klaviyo, and they actually have the setting on double opt-in. Now what this does is when you have on double opt-in, Klaviyo sends a confirmation email saying, do you want to subscribe to this list? So you can see that this completely ruins the entire strategy and the entire quote unquote funnel hacking in this, because you might think, well, but that means that you're going to get more quality leads, right? No, actually no, because here the more the better, and I have actually tested this, and single opt-in is just superior by miles, okay? And this is what you need to do. And single opt-in, what it does is it sends the email straight away, like it's already in, okay? So you need to have this on, all right? Let's go to listen segments again. And in this case, we have the new newsletter, and we need to connect this newsletter to our welcome flow, or the flow we are going to use for the welcome flow. And here we have two. I already made this one, the welcome one, and you can see the difference here. So on the email welcome series, it says when someone is added to newsletter list. On the welcome series, which is the one we're going to use, is when someone is added to new newsletter list. So we're going to click on this one. I already made this so that we don't waste a lot of time. And this is actually a pretty good example on how you should start your welcome flow, okay? And the welcome flow and the first email people receive from the welcome flow is the thing that generates the most revenue for your store, all right? So yeah, you need to have this correctly, or have this right, all right? Okay, so the trigger here is when someone is added to newsletter. We put an email here with no time delay, like it sends the email straight away. Now, after that, we wait 1 day. We create a conditional split where we say what someone has or not done, open an email at least once since starting this flow. Very important. Every time you're doing a flow, you need to use the wording since starting this flow, okay? And now what this does is, if someone has opened an email, they go to the next email. If someone has not opened an email, no, they receive the first email again after 1 day. And the same goes for this one. After 1 day, they receive the next email, but you get the point, right? And here, very important here, because what people do is, I mean, I have seen this a lot of times for clients that have this kind of thing is they don't have a time delay here. So what happens here is it sends this email and this email at the same time. Okay, so you need to have a time delay here as well. And by the way, this email is the first email. It's a duplicate, okay? And this is the second email, all right? Very, very simple. Okay. So this is how you need to have the welcome flow set it up, or the beginning of it, all right? There's more things, but this is just the beginning, and this is what I'm teaching you, like. But you need to have the beginning like this. All right, let's go to Klaviyo now. And let's talk about actually getting people to your list. And this is with a pop-up or a full page pop-up. Now, I am not going to create a pop-up live here because I already made videos about that. You can look them up. But I am going to show you the setting you need to have on. And you can see that, for example, these are pop-ups, okay? Full page pop-ups, to be precise. And this one, call it B, it's connected to the newsletter. And this one with his weird name, it's connected to the new newsletter, which in this case, it's the list or the welcome flow we want to use, okay? So how you do this, it's very simple. You click on the pop-up. I already made this. You go to email opt-in, and this is where people subscribe to your list, okay? They put the email here, and they click this button. And you're going to also click this button, claim discount. And it needs to be on submit form, list to submit, new newsletter. Okay, so you see that everything is connected, right? And after submit, show next step, okay? Show next step. It goes to this one, success page. Very simple. So if you think a little bit, we created the new newsletter list. Well, we didn't create it. I already have it here, but it's pretty simple. It's very easy to create a list, okay? But we have it here, a list, not a segment, because a list is just a group of people with no specifications, and a segment is a group of people with a bunch of specifications, okay? And you should always send campaigns to segments, not lists, okay? Very simple. So we got the list here. Settings. We need to make sure that the integration, the consent, my God, is single opt-in. Okay. Then on the flow, we need to create the flow that is attached to that list. So when we click here, it says when someone is added to newsletter, okay, and the way they are added to the newsletter is with a pop-up. Right here, with this pop-up. It appears on the site, they submit the form, and here, they submit it here, they go to the list, and they receive the very first email, okay? This is like, you need to have this right. Because I'm laughing because I have seen people with this wrong, and they have all the flows made, they have everything made, and nothing works because they don't have the most important flow correctly set it up, or the most important steps correctly set up, okay? So you need to do this, all right. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you liked it. And if you need help implementing everything, because again, this is just the beginning, because there is a lot more things you need to do. Book a call, and yeah, let me know if we are a good fit. Because I don't work with random people. Like I try to work with people that are actually good and actually care about this. So yeah, thank you for watching. Appreciate it, and wish you an amazing rest of the day. Thank you.